Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Good weekend, good week. Two important games in the title running on Sunday. Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester City, Nottingham fOREST. This week we played Brighton away, got the 3 points. So all eyes were on Sunday. Got up in the morning, bit of breakfast, headed out. Nottingham, not too far, couple of hours down the road, parked up at Notts County's ground, Meadow Lane. Been to Meadow Lane a few times watching City. One of my worst memories of watching Manchester City was Meadow Lane, FA Cup. I think it was about 91 or something like that. We got beat 1-0 in the FA Cup. I was only a young kid. I was devastated. It was freezing. They had a goalkeeper, I've mentioned him before, Steve Cherry, Notts County, who was insane that game, insane. So a little bit of nostalgia when I was parking up, outside the ground, went in the Meadowbank Sports Club there, which is joined onto the ground, full of City fans. Arsenal game was on. Obviously, Arsenal won 3-2. They were 3-0 up and cruising. Got a bit nervy near the end. But I've said it before, the title's in our hands. We don't need to worry about Arsenal. We just need to do what we're doing. You know what I mean? We've had 2 fixtures this last week where people have said potential banana skins. You might slip up here, you might slip up here. But obviously the boys know what they're doing. And they proved it wrong. Early doors team news was filtering through that Ruben Diaz and Phil Foden were ill, so that was a bit of a blow. I think people were nervous after seeing the Arsenal result and that, because it puts the pressure straight back on your toes. Ruben Diaz and Phil both being out wasn't ideal. Erling Haaland was on the bench, so that was a bonus. The team was pretty much what we would expect, obviously without Phil in there. Akanji and Nathan Ake at centre-back. Kyle Walker and Guardiola made up the defence. Rodri, Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne, Grealish, Doku, and Alvarez. So, yeah, looked a good side. Got to the ground about 15, 20 minutes before kick-off. The City end was bouncing. Everybody was confident. Everybody was just going to get behind the boys and that. It's a bit of a weird away end at Forest. You've got their fans above you. We're in the lower tier, right along on the long side behind the net. Atmosphere was building okay. I mean, they played the music on the speakers dead loud and sing some crazy song I've never heard of and that. But at least we didn't have to put up with the "Where's your European Cup" or "Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that." So all that bullshit that Forest used to throw at us from years ago, at least that's gone. A bit of banter from the City fans singing, "You cheating bastards, you know what you are." It's true. It is true. You have been caught cheating. You was as the Forest fans were looking at us as a little bit perplexed. And it's like, well, listen, you only had one charge and you fucked it up. We've got a few more than that, and we're trying to deal with it. So a bit of banter, bit of football banter. It was all good. It was all good. And then the game kicked off. First 10 minutes was a little bit manic. I felt like Kyle Walker down the right and Doku, it wasn't working there. Kyle, for some reason, was a little bit reluctant to press the winger. He was leaving too much space. They were winning cheap free kicks. They were breaking. It was a bit of a madness that first 10 minutes, I can't lie. I think they had a chance at the back post. I think Nico Williams or someone could have scored. And I think we just needed to settle down. Then we did decide to settle down. We realised what we were doing. I think Pep played it a little bit different. I think he had Guardiola wide left, and I think Jack Grealish was tucked inside a little bit. The same on the right. I feel like Doku was wide right, and Walker was tucking in a little bit. And City were trying to get hold of the game. You know what I mean? Rodri in midfield again, winning the ball, knocking it about. I wouldn't say we looked too dangerous. We just was it's all about control with this City team at the minute. I feel like they get a foot in the game and then they slowly grind you down. Kevin De Bruyne had a couple of chances. I think one took a wicked deflection. I think the goalkeeper saved it. And then we finally got our noses in front. Guardiola, great header. You know what I mean? Great to see City score off corners. We don't do it enough, you know what I mean, for me, for the height we've got. Corners whipped in. Guardiola steals in at the near post. Bang, 1-0. Settled a few nerves. It did settle a few nerves. Because, I don't know if you noticed, there's been a few comments about the pitch. The pitch was dry. There was nobody wetting in that pitch. I think they wanted it rough and ready. Stop City passing it about. I get it. But in the end, I think the dry pitch, it worked against them. Chris Wood has had a couple of great chances there, scuffed it. I don't think the ball coming across was perfect enough for him on a wet pitch with a bit of zip in it. Might have been perfect, but who knows? You know, he missed a few sitters. Ederson saved us a few times, coming out with the punches and just underneath the bar. I think he knocked one over. So Forest were huffing and puffing, and at the end of the day, Nottingham Forest are in deep shit. I think they're a couple of points off safety, but they've got Burnley to play last game of the season. I think they're playing Chelsea. The Forest team isn't a bad side, you know what I mean? They've got a lot of pace. They can damage you on the counter-attack. Hudson-Odoi, you know what I mean? Good player. Elanga, good player. Pace. What did surprise me was the centre-backs. Willy Boly, he's a big unit, but they had another centre-back, I think it's Murillo, number 40. He's built like a barrel, but he had a good game. But I thought he had a good game because they had time on the ball and they only had Alvarez to contend with. I feel like when they brought the big Viking on, I think it went to shit for him at the back because they thought, you know what, we've got to fucking keep this guy quiet here, you know what I mean? And that's when I think the game changed. Went in at half time, 1-0 up, City ends bouncing, we're happy. Apart from Chris Wood's chances, you know, we were controlling it. We got our noses in front with Guardiola. We come out the second half. There was a couple of changes. Ederson had just hurt his arm before the break in a challenge with Boly, so he's gone off. Ortega's come on. We know about Ortega. He's an absolute class goalkeeper. Be number one goalkeeper in most teams. So seeing him coming on, nobody's worried. And then Kovacic has come on. Doku didn't have the best of first halves. Like I say, him and Walker down that side didn't look like it was working. Kovacic just came on. Bernardo Silva's gone out wide. Second half, much of the same. City keeping control of it. Forest trying again on the counter-attack. But didn't really do much, you know what I mean? Again, Chris Wood, I think Elanga beat Walker, who didn't have his best game for me, Kyle. I feel like Kyle was standing off the winger too much, and he's passing and decision-making sometimes, I don't know what was up with him. I just don't think he's been the same for a few weeks. I mean, his pace gets him out of a lot of trouble, I know that. But against Brighton the other night, he assisted 2 goals, but he gave the ball away 5 or 6 times, which he's not really like him. So I feel like he's got to step it up because we're getting away with these mistakes. There's only going to be a matter of time where we're going to get punished soon. So he needs to look at his game from the weekend and realise that it wasn't his best. Elanga broke free. He squared it to Chris Wood, who's on the penalty spot. He scuffs it again, and I think it's deflected and wide. Could have been 2-1 Forest at that point. You know what I mean? I feel like Kovacic came in, did really, really well. I think he slowed everything down. I think he helped Rodri in there. He calmed it all down. And then we started to play our tempo, City's tempo. You know, Jack Grealish, he had a tough game as well, getting knocked about all over the place. You know, he went off. The big man comes on, Big Earl. And like I say, I think we looked a different team when Haaland come on. He's had a lot of criticism. We're a better team without Haaland. We do this, we do that. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense for me. Yeah, it might be more fluid without Haaland, but I tell you what, Pep played it perfect because the 2 centre-backs of Forest were having an easy day. Alvarez was dropping more deep and laying it off. They thought, we're doing all right here against Manchester City. Then they bring him on, Big Earl. And then you could tell he was throwing people around. He was on the shoulder of the last defender looking for the run. We get the second goal. Kevin De Bruyne breaks into midfield. He looks up. He sees Erling Haaland. It's what we've been saying all season. Feed him. Great ball into his feet. He took a couple of touches. He didn't know whether he was going to go on his left. Didn't know whether he was going to go on his right. He ends up dragging it onto his right foot, putting it in the bottom corner. Great finish. Absolute scenes in the away end. Big Earl comes over, does the thumbs up. Big smile. Happy days. And we're 2-0. And then it's relaxing then. It's relaxing because you're thinking, you know what? We've ridden out a little bit of a storm. We've made the tweaks we needed to make. Now we're controlling the game. And we just had to see the game out then. Do you know what I mean? It was only a matter of time. See the game out. Kovacic in midfield. Rodri in midfield. Knocking it about well. Keeping it moving. Nothing stupid. Get the game sorted out. But Kovacic did steady the ship. Some guy come on and said Kovacic changed the game. He did. He steadied it out. He's very experienced, Kovacic. You know, he was bought for experience. He wasn't bought because he's up and coming. He was bought for experience. He was bought for these type of games in a title running when it's getting a little bit nervy. You've had a couple of dropouts on the day, injuries. Kovacic come in, step in, just play the ball nice and simple. Don't lose possession. Kill Forest. Forest were dead on the feet. They tried the best, but the quality shone through. You know what I mean? The quality shone through. Defensively, another clean sheet. Brilliant. But I've got to say, Nathan Ake, man. I thought Nathan Ake was man of the match, me. I thought he was everywhere. He was always available for the early ball. There was a couple of times Forest got us on the counter-attack. He stepped in, made some great blocks. I feel like he's an unsung hero. I feel like Nathan Ake doesn't get the credit he deserves. I feel like he's an absolutely outstanding player. You know what I mean? And Akanji, you know, got to be one of Pep's best signings. Who sounded that out, what's the deal with Akanji? Well, you can have him for 14 million. Fucking hell, let's take him. I mean, what he's done over the last couple of years in a Man City shirt is unbelievable. You know what I mean? He's come from Dortmund where his career stalled a little bit. And then he's just thought, you know what, I'm buying into this Man City team. He probably didn't think he was going to play. Do you know what I mean? With Stones and Diaz. But he's got himself in there. And I think he's improving. And that's saying something, you know what I mean? He's not a young guy, but he's improving. If you want him to step into midfield, he can do it. You want him to go right back, he can do it. You want him to play centre-back, he can do it. And, yeah, I thought it was great. I thought Guardiola is doing okay out on the left. Sometimes his decision-making can be poor. You got in that final third and his decision-making is not there. But listen, he's chipping in goals. He's chipping in with goals. He's scoring goals now. And I think Guardiola's going to be absolutely unbelievable. And I feel like in the future, he could get made into centre-back. And I think he's going to be one of the best in the world. I think he's got everything. Pace, power. He's got an eye for getting into that midfield role if he needs to. I think he's just got to believe in himself more. And I think Pep's going to work with him. And I think Josko Guardiola is going to be fucking something special next season. Something special. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we got the win. Edison left the ground with a sling, so his hand is not the best. But we've got 6 days now to Wolves. He's got to recover. This is a good break for the lads to rest, recover, get themselves together, get Foden fit, get Diaz fit, go home game Saturday in front of the crowd. Wolves at home, fully fit squad. Put them away. You know what I mean? Put them away. Because we've got a tough week coming the week after. We've got Fulham away. Craven Cottage, never easy. Then we've got Tottenham. You know what I mean? I was listening on the radio coming back from the game and a few Tottenham fans were like, look, we haven't done it today against Arsenal, but you watch. It's a Spurs way. We'll go against Man City, end up winning, hand Arsenal the title. Well, Tottenham, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope you have a word with yourself. But I believe we beat them anyway. I believe that we win every game now and go and win the league. I think it's there on a plate. The squad know what they need to do. Pep knows what they need to do. And us as fans know what we need to do. We've just got to get behind them, keep moving, keep positive on social media and just go for it. We've got to go for it. Imagine winning 4 league titles on the trot. Never been done. Another unique piece of history to add to our unique list. Yeah, the list. My list. Remember the Man United list? We've done you. We've done your list, yeah? Now do our list. Well, if we win 4 in a row, that's another thing to add to the list. So it is what it is. We need to do it. What else was I going to say? Going to mention Arsenal. I watched the Arsenal game. I feel like when you've got the rhythm and momentum, things happen. Own goal by Højbjerg, then a great goal by Saka, and then Havertz with a header. They found themselves 3-0 up. Near the end, it was getting a bit twitchy, but I feel like Arsenal a few years ago would have probably gone to Tottenham and lost. I think it shows good mentality for them. They got a boost. I think they would have left the ground thinking, fucking hell, we're on it. But then City brought them down a peg or two, because then you've got to go home and you've got to sit there and watch Manchester City win again. And that's one thing we do. We win again and again and again. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to break hearts. We broke Liverpool hearts many a time, taking them deep. Liverpool were a great team. Wins after wins after wins, get to the end of the season, end up with nothing. Unfortunately, that's what we've got to do again. You know what I mean? No mercy. Show no mercy. We've got the cup final coming up against that lot. We'll deal with that when it's time. And then we've got Arsenal. Arsenal are playing well. Arsenal have had a great season. Do you know what I mean? But this is what we do. This is what Manchester City Football Club do. We get it done in the business end of the season, and we've just got to keep on going. Literally, keep on moving. That is all we can do. That is all we can do. We've got Wolves coming up at weekend. Going to be a tough game. We owe them one. Molineux early in the season, they beat us. We wasn't at the races. We need to sort that out. I feel like everyone will be fit. So he's got a few selection dilemmas. But, I mean, what a position to be in. What a position to be in as Man City fans. You know what I mean? We've got 5 games to go in the league, 1 in the FA Cup for a double and a 4-peat. You know, a few months ago, we'd have took it all day long. That's why we've just been simmering on the shoulder, waiting to go. People messaging me about the shark. He's a big blue shark out and all that. We have a bit of play with that. It was a bit of banter and that. But at the end of the day, they know what we're about. They know what we're about. And they know that we ain't going away. And it's out in our hands. And, you know, we've just got to keep on going. Keep on going. What else is coming up? There's not an awful lot coming up at the minute. You know what I mean? Business end of the season. There's no Champions League. We've got to watch Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and all that. Bit of a sickener. You know what I mean? We should have all been going to Germany this week, maybe going to Bayern Munich to get the Champions League done. But it's not to be. It is not to be. So we're going to have to watch it on the telly, unfortunately. But such is life. Big shout out to everybody that come up to me at the ground, was having a good chat about football. Seen Noel Gallagher in the stadium, seen him there, the City fans. Noel always gets wheeled out towards the end of the season when we're on a title run, but fair play, he was in the City end. And other than that, there's not a lot else for me to say. It's getting time at the minute with work and everything's getting hard work for me to do videos. I'm trying my best. I really appreciate everybody that tunes in. I have got another City interview coming up with a special guest. I'm going to try and get that sorted out. I do the title talk show on Turkish London channel with James Redmond. It's a really good show. No bullshit, no shouting, no screaming. Just 3 lads talking football. So if you want a bit of Big Steve content, head over there. TikTok, getting a bit hard work, to be fair. I'm trying to do these little 60-second reviews when I come out of the stadium to keep people informed. But the level of content on TikTok's hard graft. It's hard graft, you know what I mean? But if you're on TikTok, go and follow me at Big Steve MCFC. But the YouTube is where I need to concentrate. I feel like I don't do enough on my channel. I feel like, no disrespect, there's channels out there that aren't as good as me, aren't as authentic as me, who are triple in size as me. You know what I mean? So I need to, I don't know whether my audience is, I don't know, a lot older. I don't know. It's might be the young ones that are backing these channels, but I just feel like, you know, I need to concentrate more on my channel. I know it can get a bit long, just hearing my opinion on games and before games. I do need to mix and match it. I do need to get more guests on. And I think I'm going to do that soon. You know what I mean? I'm going to get more guests on and try and spring a bit of life into the channel. You know what I mean? But anything you guys suggest, let me know. Me and Martin at the Mancunian Way were on about doing a Main Road sort of show where we talk about Main Road and games at Main Road and things like that. I know there's a lot of supporters, Man City supporters out there from back in the day that that like to talk about that. And these guys that never remembered Main Road that had loved the tales from Main Road. So hopefully, you know, we can do that. We can do that. But other than that, people, I really appreciate your support as always. Man City fans have been brilliant with me this season. Unbelievable. We've had some ups and downs. You know, we've had the overlap shows where they try to grill us on the 115. I feel like I represented the fan base well, and that's all I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? We've had some good banter this year. You know, a lot of rival fans think that I pretend I play for the team, apparently. So I'm taking that. You know what I mean? I'm taking that. So if Pep wants to put me on the bench, last game of the season, get me an appearance and get a medal, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. But anyway, Blues, we keep on rolling. We keep on moving. We've done the job. Brighton away, sorted it. Forest away, sorted it. Next step, Wolves at home, bit of revenge. We keep on moving, one game at a time. And I'd just like to say one big shout out to my mate Luke. Luke knows who he is. Luke, a year ago, tried to commit suicide. He was crying out for help. I used to see him at the match all the time. And I can't lie, he was a pain in the ass. He'd talk absolute nonsense to you. He was drunk, drugged up, whatever he used to do. He wasn't a nice person to be around, He was becoming hard work. He tried to kill himself. I think a lot of City fans reached out to him and they talked him round. So I said to him, listen, Luke, give up the beer. He said, how do you do it? I said, you've got to have willpower. You've got to want to do it. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do with you. I say, if you give up the beer for 12 months, I'll take you for a meal. End of the season, anywhere you want to go in Manchester, pick the restaurant, I'll take you my treat as a little bit of an incentive. And I'm very, very proud to say that Luke today was 12 months sober. And if you've seen him today, then what he looked like 12 months ago, he looks fresh-faced, he looks bright, he can hold a conversation, he looks like he's lost a bit of timber, he looks like his life's gone in a totally different way. And I know there's a few guys at the minute who are messaging me who are on this journey, trying to be sober for a year. Some lads have slipped, some lads are going strong. You're all on your own journeys and that. And I'm no preacher. I'm just here to help. If I can help, I can help. But I just want to say, I woke up this morning to the message that he'd done 12 months and we are going out for a meal. And I've got great pleasure in paying for it because I feel like what he's done in today's society with what City were going through last season with trebles and European trips, I think it's a really hard thing to do. And I tell you what, if you're some man, you are some man. If you go to game every week, you can get on coaches, you can get on trains, you can go abroad with all the boys and you can sit there and drink water or drink Coke. I feel like, you know, people don't realise how hard that is. So Luke, you know who you are. Absolutely proud of your son. We'll see you soon and we'll have something to eat. Big up all the Blues. Love for the love. Come on, let's go win this title.